Hey everybody, it's Casual Boobs coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be covering the Tier 10 Italian tank destroyer, the Minotauro, which has been in the game for a little bit. It was introduced probably like a year ago, I think now, and at the time, along with Vipera, everybody was losing their minds about how broken these tanks were going to be. I didn't particularly care for the Vipera, even though everybody else seemed to like it when it was released, and then all of a sudden everybody agreed with me. Weird. Anyways, I did not cover the line itself. And I haven't covered it at all, actually. But I will say the tier 5 and 6 are no armor and sniper tanks. And then the tier 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all kind of in the similar vein of the tier 10, where they're, and the premium, where they're more heavily armored and they're more assault TDs, is what it's even called. And so the field mods and the playstyle should reflect that. They're not meant to be sniping and stuff, but the tier 6 is actually really, really fantastic. It's really good. It doesn't play anything like, it's got no armor. It's meant to pew pew from the back. It's got a big stupid gun, and I think it's the most fun tank of the line. But otherwise, I just wanted to say that as a quick little thing. That one's definitely worth playing. If you haven't played it, go get it. The tier 10 Minotauro is going to be the focus of this particular video, and it is pretty freaking solid. It's not quite as flexible as a lot of tanks, so it has quickly fallen out of favor with a lot of very good players in the game, but it's still, I actually have grown to kind of like it. Having said that, I don't think it's necessarily good for the game. Still it's probably, the armor is still dumb, and so anyways, there's that. We'll get into it here, but it's a pretty solid tank, and we're going to show you what it can do here in this game. Okay, so we're gonna go over the stats really quick because this is it's on that you can read Tanks GG for yourself. The high points here. What is this tank all about? It's got a 530 average alpha gun, which is pretty. That's a meaty alpha. That's an impactful gun. Good penetration, really good premium penetration at 330 with a heat round, and also pretty good DPM while having a clip. Right, so this is the first one where the intra-clip is very weird. This is the first one of these that Wargaming has introduced, this style of like a long intra-clip but a relatively short drum reload. What is it? It takes 23 seconds to get to reload the whole drum. So it's not. What's nice about this is you can shoot 2 or 3 shots out of the mag and you get 5 total, and then you can just reload the clip and then go into the fight again. So there's not a whole lot of downtime. You can just stall for a little bit, and so the result is you basically need to treat this thing like a tank that just has really good DPM. That's really what it is. You have pretty decent alpha and really good DPM, and then occasionally you need to take a short break from the fight, 23 seconds, which really isn't even that long. That's longer a little bit than like a 15 centimeter gun, like a grill might reload for 15 seconds. This is just a little bit longer than that. So that's kind of the feel. You can't think of it like a clip tank because it takes so long to dump the whole mag. So you just think about a tank that has good DPM, but also has pretty decent alpha damage. The final accuracy is horrendous, but the soft stats are actually pretty good. So we can work on this. I'll talk about this in equipment and stuff like that. Let me see here. But that's really the big thing. It's got 10 degrees of gun depression. It's really slow. And that's kind of the whole thing. It's all about the armor. You're meant to be in somebody's face. It's basically a tank destroyer equivalent of a super heavy. Like, that's the gist. Yeah, so we'll get into the armor. The armor here is pretty freaking awesome. This is the tank shooting itself, which again, it has that really good standard round. It's 265. This is a tier 8 basically shooting premium. This is what you see. So the lower plate I mean, it is weak, but it's definitely got these roundy angly bits, kind of like a boat shaped hole, and so you really need to hit a flat spot of this. And so for tier 8s, this is going to be really tricky to actually get this to go in. And then it has this teeny tiny freaking cupola up over the top here. It's not the one on the right. The one on the right is not, it's a cupola, but it's apparently not the weak one. And then there's a front left one, and then there's a back left one. The back left one is the one you got to hit, and that one is actually, it's very small, but it's 140 millimeters thick. So this is the one you got to shoot. And I will say, when you look at the visual model, it's crowded by shit. There's shit in the way, and I like, not only is it small, but it's visibly hard to see, which is very annoying. So you just got to know it's there and aim for it anyways. But this is where you shoot, and then like, if one of these things is playing against you and it's close enough, then it becomes not that hard to hit. But if somebody's they're back over here, and all of a sudden you have this tiny little pixel to hit. So it's just worth noting that when you're playing as one of these things, if you can, you want to poke around the right side corner, or at least just not sit still, right? If you're just rocking back and forth and making this not an easy shot to hit, then your armor is pretty freaking reliable, right? If you were to tap 2, this is the heat round, the 330, so it's pretty idiot proof, and this is one of the reasons that I think it's I'll say it's kind of fun to play, because you don't need to use your brain a whole lot. But is it good for the game? Probably not. I mean, brain off gameplay is kind of what wargaming has kind of been going toward, trying to embrace that a little bit and steal some players from Call of Duty, maybe. I don't think this is the way, though, right? This is a better heavy tank than the actual heavy tanks. But the armor is legit. You'll notice this side is bad, and this just everything else except for the front is bad. So that's really, there's your hint, right? Your hint is, if this thing is side scraping, you shoot it in one of these bits above the tracks or whatever. But it can even actually side scrape okay, honestly. It's got this semi-traversable turret, so you want to go around the side. That's what you want to do. Okay, so talking about field mods and equipment. Field mods are easy. It's always this one. It's always this one. It's always this one. I think I'm probably going to do this one, because the reload is already like this. This one punishes your drum reload, but you only gain, it's less than a second. This is totally worth it, and you get extra hit points. You're meant to be in the brawl, so this is where you want to be. You want to have hit points to spare. This one I would probably pick neither one, because you really need this reverse speed, right? Being able to reverse is huge, and you don't want to lose that, but you also don't want to lose the track repair speeds. I wouldn't pick either one of these. And just for whatever, if we're gonna just have a pimped out crew, and you play it like me, I'm picking this one, and this is what I'm doing. This, right? Because you actually don't need a V-stab, and even if you did need a V-stab, you couldn't mount it because it's a tank destroyer. But the improved aiming is what improves the final dispersion, which is really what you need the help with anyways. So this is what I run, and then I run the hardening. I don't have mine personally. I don't have the survivability slot unlocked yet, but when I do, this is what I will run. And then it'll be a turbo, or extra points if you can get a pink one or a purple one. This is the way. This is what I would do. Yeah, really, this is kind of it. You could make the argument for, instead of hardening, you grab vents, but also then you run the risk of getting flanked easier if somebody shoots the tracks off of you, and that's really that's one of the only ways to kill this thing. And so really, as long as you don't get flanked, you're in pretty good shape. So this is what I would run, and this is what I would recommend. So yeah, all right, let's get into the replay. All right, so we're going to be watching King Me of Me play in his Minotauro on, what is this, Ruinberg? I think it's Ruinberg. Erlenberg, yes. Playing in Erlenberg, and he's got a lot of heat rounds, which is a smart thing to do, because the heat rounds are just so good. You could just motor through things, right? This is just, there's no downside. And he's going to play pretty aggressively here. He's going to go across the bridge and come up the left side of the river from this side, which is, it can work, but it's also very risky, right? If you don't have the right support, or if you can very easily get pinned down. Like I have shit on tanks for doing this, but we'll just see. King lately has been playing a lot of very aggressive games, and so this has worked for him, and he's a little better at it than me. So we'll just see. We'll just watch the master at work. And we have an IS-7 right away shooting down to this side. Not a bad idea, right? Because the IS-7 is fast enough to make it. We're going to see. King just wants to get in somebody's face, because he knows he has the clip, he has the DPM. All he has to do is face hug, and he's got this. He's shooting down at the, he's able to shoot down at the angled front plate of the IS-7, and so he's basically just got this guy. He just gets to shoot him, and because he's got his butt facing downward, he's, all of a sudden the IS-7's friends have arrived. He's able to put some shots into the angled front, there it is, to finish off the IS-7. Then that's one tank down. He's taken one shot in return, but you can see how trollish this armor is. King is, he's trying to feather it in on this mouse, but he's also trying to pull the mouse away from his friends. Right? And so he's, the E75 is helping, but, right, but if we can isolate the mouse from the E75, then it's a 2v1 again. And right now we are in that 23-second or so cooldown, or mag reload, and so we're going to just sit here and try not to get shot and just side scrape and just be wiggly. And you can see the mouse for some reason wasn't shooting the E5 who is face hugging, right? That's just easy damage on the cupola. But we got the 8-second right now, so we're back to shooting. We're going to put one into the roof of the E75 because we've got that heat round that can totally do that. E75 roof is very weak to heat rounds, so we're going to take out the mouse's support, right? The mouse is really, the gun's not that awesome, or like the firepower is not really what's good about the mouse. What's good about the mouse is the hit points. So if you really want to solve the problem, you shoot the people that are helping the mouse, which is what we're doing. I think that E5 was trying to back up King, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. I don't think that was intentional. I think the E5 probably was just lizard brain, right? And he's just trying to back up and doesn't really know. And you know, King was trying to push forward to get some shots on the mouse. But so now our friends are dead, but we do own the left side, right? So as long as King has already got 4,500 damage, right? We've shot 10 times, and you can see just how trollish this armor is. He's only taken a few hits, and we've taken a couple tanks out of the fight already. It's just insane. Like, the carnage, and all he had to do is just not be spotted, or just not be isolated. And so now here we are, player 3 has entered the fight. We're going to put one into his side, and our whole goal with this tank is to not, oh, I think he might have screwed that up, because you can see the turret traverse is not that good. We're trying very hard to not get circled. We want to keep our friends in the fight, even though our E4 and our other friends have just not cared. Right, E4 and AMX30 are not paying attention to this at all. So all this E50M has to do is circle around us, and he's got this. But unfortunately, he just keeps not doing that. And King moves the dead hull of the E5 so that he can't be pushed around, and he can't come around, like, so he can't be circled. Really, that's the whole thing here, is you just want to make sure that you can't be circled in this tank, and then you win. And so that right there, we've got 3 kills and almost 7,000 damage in the first 4 minutes of this game. This is insanity. This is why I wanted to show this game, because like what you do in this tank is you push forward and shoot people in the face and don't get flanked, and that is exactly what we're doing. Is it the most, you know, is it sexy flexy all over the map and let's just use our map knowledge? No, that's not what this game is, and that's not what this tank is for. This tank is for pushing in somebody's face. And now you can see King is worried about the Jaegerus. He doesn't want to find a JP E100 with his face when he crosses this corner, so he's trying to poke around and just spot a little bit and try to spot things without being spotted. And he didn't poke out. He poked out and didn't get spotted, and so he knows now that this is at least safe. And the AMX30 ran down the long side there, and so he knows this is safe as well. So that was him just trying to be cautious, because, you know, 1,000 hit. Nobody wants to take 1,000 hit points. And now this is a long range shot, but we're just gonna send it, and that's 560 damage, easy. Right, and the heat round doesn't lose penetration over distance, so this is just easy mode. Oh, we did get spotted, so we want to make sure we don't get tagged. And that is another Jaegeru. That's not great. We did take one to the face. That's not great. That's not good, you know. But because we are proxy spotted by this Jaegeru, it's unfortunate, because really what we need to do to break this open is to just not care. Apparently, pull around the corner since that other Jaegeru is on reload. What needs to happen is those guys need to run down the 0 line. Oh, risky. He's going to send it right into the superstructure. This is, wow. This is really, I mean, amazing, because like that Jaegeru, I mean the second, yeah, that the last one didn't hit, and it probably shouldn't have anyway, so it's fine. But like, you kind of, this is one of the few tanks that even if it taps 2, you kind of don't need to care as much about the Jaegeru gun. And that guy was shooting AP rounds, which is, you know, that's his bad. The armor is just so legit, right? It's like if the mouse had armor like the Minotauro did, it would be broken. We're gonna back up and use bushes as best we can. Wait. See if we can send it into the superstructure. These are not really the shots that the Minotauro is made to hit, so it's gonna be a tough one, but we'll just see. And that one hits. Because you reload relatively quickly, right? Don't think of it like a clip. You think of it like an actual regular gun with high DPM. It reloads so fast you can just take those shots. And that is the end of the game. We capped out even though we totally didn't need to. And yeah, so it was fast. It was crazy. And this is why I wanted to show this game. Is it was just peak Minotauro gameplay. Alright, so at the end of the game, King Me of Me ended up picking up 9,233 damage, 3 kills. He blocked almost 4,000. He spotted for 1,200 because he was in people's faces, and he was proxy spotting mostly that Jaegeru, I think. But because he can be close, he doesn't have to worry about going toe to toe with the Jaegeru, because he is a freaking Minotauro. That was a high caliber, the ace tanker. Ended up getting him 1,295 base XP, and yeah, that's apparently that's the ace, but it's almost 10,000 damage. That makes sense. I mean, good lord. He shot 22 times and he penned 19 of them, so that's really impressive. I don't think he made any money. He did lose money, and he also had he had consumables already purchased, and he had a personal reserve. Basically, what I'm trying to say is he would have lost his ass in this game just because of all the heat rounds and so on and so forth. But that's just what it is. This is not a tank you play to make money. This is going to be expensive to play well because the heat round is just so much better than the AP rounds that if you really want to do peak performance in a Minotauro, you need to not be afraid to shoot the heat rounds. That's in the game, so use it. But yeah, solid performance by King Me of Me, and I appreciate you sending it in, man. This is exactly the kind of stuff I want to show. Minotauro is legit. All you need is friends. You just need a couple friends and a city map, and you are off to the races. So, anyways, that's it for me, and hopefully this has helped you decide if you want to grind the line. I think it's worthwhile. I mean, I blueprinted the line, but I have a Minotauro, and it's pretty legit. So, all right, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. All right.